Hey everybody, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to revisit a topic we covered in a few months ago. Namely, that was more or less around the time when AI things were starting to pop up. And I actually had by the slight chance, I checked out one of my previous videos and I checked and saw that the website in question there was WithPoly, and I made a video about how it works, how you can create textures by just giving it a prompt. Well, upon closer inspection, I saw that they actually updated it and made it much better, and it actually warrants making a updated video on the features. But before we actually jump into that, I want to explain when would you use it. So for example, like let's say you have your scene working on whatever. Maybe you're even using some of the assets from either your library, or you can be using something from the Chaos Cosmos browser. So in my case, I've actually chosen a few models here that we can use to showcase. So it's basically a armchair, a dining chair, a pot, and a seat. So I'm using just these as an example of what we can do with WithPoly. So first of all, once you open it, what you're going to notice is, if you watched the previous video, is that the UI is totally different now. It's actually much more interesting what they've done. And what I mean by this is that now all of these balls that you see here that have a texture applied to them, they actually have all the rest of the textures. They need to be made into a full-fledged material. So for example, let's say we open up the parquet here, for example. Here you go. You can see that all of these are at resolution of 2K by 2K. You have a normal map, you have a height map, ambient occlusion, and a roughness map. So if I hit on the view edit, this will open it up in a viewer, and now I can see how this thing looks like. So by just clicking on download, I can download all of the maps that are available for this material that can be recreated back in 3ds Max or whatever software you're using. Let's try another one. And another thing I do want to note is that when you scroll down, and this was what really got me by surprise, and as I didn't really expect it, is when you get to around here, you see that the slider has a limited section of how long you can go. But once you go down to here, it just keeps on going. So there are literally thousands already pre-made textures that you can choose for whatever use you might need. And here's the kicker. Let's say that I have a model that I want to change a material on. So in this case, this model here. So let's just sample the material, and I can see that I have a leather material and a metal material. I'm going to go into inside the leather material and copy it to the side. All right, so now I'm going to do one more copy and call this one leather material 2. Now, if I open up my real-time viewer, I'm going to see how this thing looks like. Let's just zoom it in so we get more detail on this. So this is how the model looks like straight from the Chaos library model. So you can get close to it, you get a good quality. Now, I'm gonna switch back to WithPoly, and here let's type in leather, and we can actually add in different tags, as you can see it over here. When you just add leather, it suggests what more you can do. You can use weathered leather, scratches, skin, lambskin, whatever. But for this one, I'm just going to hit leather and click on enter. This will go ahead and search through the library and shoot off a plethora of different materials that we can use. Now we just need to find something that would fit our need. So for example, blue suede leather, like creamy leather. This looks interesting. Let's check it out. Now, these ones are all at 2K. Some of them are at 4K. And the great thing about all of this is that they're all free. Now, in order to get a higher resolution than a 2 or a 4K, which is the free ones that are available, you need to go ahead and purchase a premium account. But without a premium account, you can still get all of these for free. So just click on View Edit. Let's click on Download. It will prompt you where you want this thing to be downloaded. Save it here. And now just open it in the folder. Once in the folder, just unzip everything that's in here. So extract here. And in here you have now a folder which has been named Cream Leather Yellow Vintage Realistic. So basically all of these are the tags that were used to make this. In here though, now you have some interesting maps that we can use. So for now I'm actually going to swap this to the side, go back in 3ds Max, and in here I'm just going to go into my diffuse, and from here I'm gonna, in the diffuse, I'm going to put in the color map. There we go. Let's check what else we have. So we have a bump map here. Plug in the, well, for this one we actually have a normal map. So instead of using a bump map, or we can try to see how it would look with the displacement map. So let's try it like that. Go back, we have a roughness map. All right. For the roughness, let's just put in the roughness, and we have assembled this as a material. Now, all we have to do is on this model, just swap out the original material with this one, and right away we can see how this thing looks like. Now, by default, this is the original tiling. So if we need to have a smaller tiling, we just need to go in here and increase the tiling to whatever we need it to be. Let's try by 3. All right, that works. We can try 2. The reflection, that's fine. Let's try this thing, same here. So 3 by 3. And we can also control how much bumpiness we want to have. Like, let's ramp it up and see how that's going to make a difference. There we go. So now we can see that this thing is starting to look like a pretty nice orange leather material. There we go. And the great thing, like I said, is that you can go in here and choose any of these materials from almost thousands of free materials that are already available and made by somebody else. If you have a need for a specific one, you can just type it in and try to find it. So let's go ahead and try another one then. Let's try a different material. So instead of going with a leather one, let's zoom out a bit. I'm gonna hide this, and let's try a wooden one. So wood is actually a good material to test out for this. So let's sample it so see which one we're using. All right, there we go. So we have 2 woods. So one copy here, and let's call this one wood material 2. Again, let's go back to WithPoly, and here let's try wood and see what it's going to give us as suggested. So it goes light, slight blue, scratched, scratches, peeling, painted. Grains, right? Oh, not grains. Wood grain. Oh, actually, wait a second. This is a very interesting finish. Okay, well, let's try it. Like, this is a good one because we can see that the resolution that's available for this one is 4K by 4K. And like I said, again, you can download this thing for free. Just go and hit on download, export as zip, then go ahead and extract in here. So we have wood fine, in here, we can see that now we have a roughness map, render map, and all of these, if we check the details, we're going to see that they're 4K resolution. So these are high level or high quality textures that we can use. So let's go back into 3ds Max. And for this one, just do the same thing. Switch it out, or switch out the textures with this one. I'm actually going to get in touch with the guys at WithPoly, and I'm going to ask him if there is a way that they can make it so that this whole, all of this thing with switching out can be made somehow into a automatic option. That way, it should be much faster. But for now, well, we're stuck with having to do it like this. Do we have a bump map? No. Well, let's try with the other one, the AO, and see how this is going to look like. So first of all, let's switch it in to as an instance. There we go. Ooh, I actually like how this looks here. I don't think this is the best case for the side though, but on the top, it's spot on. I'm very impressed by this. And this is where I didn't plug in all the necessary textures. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So what else do we have from textures here? We have a roughness map. Let's go make a copy in here. Just switch out the roughness map. There we go. Give it some bumpiness. Let's try with 50. Well, this is probably going to have to be inverted because I don't think this is a great texture for a bump map. It's way too slow. So let's try with this one. Or we can just add a normal map. But I think that even with this one, the quality that we're getting on our material is, well, it's amazing. Look at it here, especially when you have the highlights hitting it, like here. So as you can see, this is a very, very high quality material. There we go. So this one is going to show it better. And like I said, there are thousands of these that are already up on the website, and you can use them for free. So we tested out a fabric, we tested out a wooden texture. Let's try one more, but this time around, let's try something something like this here. So it's ceramic, or it can be a stone, and it does have a different material on top of it, which is earth or dirt. So there we go. So soil and pot. This is great because we can check out and see if we can find a suitable substitute for both of these. Let's try with the pot first. So again, copy here, make a second version, pot material 2. Go back here to poly, or WithPoly. Now in here, let's try and switch it out to some sort of a marble. Marble, let's hit, ooh, Mediterranean. All right, let's try it with Mediterranean marble. See what it's going to give us. Oh, these are interesting. But nope. Marble veins. No. But, oh, okay. So even though I wrote it down incorrectly with a typo, it still gave me a good, well, that's interesting. That's a solid. Let's try it with the green. So again, here we go. Another 4K by 4K resolution for free. So edit poly, or not edit poly, but view, then download. Hit the export, save it down, open it up, and extract. We're going to do the same exact thing. So we have a color map, normal map, render, and roughness. We have an AO as well as a normal. But for this one, let's just switch back here. Again, For the diffuse, switch it over to the color map. There we go. Now right away I want to instance this here, so whatever changes I made here, I can see them happening. Oh wow. Okay, this was not expected. This looks amazing. Straight out of the box. We don't have to put a bump map, but let's just try it. So from this one, I'm going to put a V-Ray normal map here. And I'm going to plug in the normal map. Let's just check and see. Oh, there is some details in there, so that's good. So in here. There we go. So let's zoom in and see. Awesome. Render roughness. Do we need roughness for this one? Well, let's try it. Actually, bump map, plug in the roughness map. There we go. Now we're trying to catch some highlights, but it's pretty rough transition now. I'm going to scroll down, and in the roughness here with the glossiness, let's mix it at, let's say, 30% or 15%. That's fine. How reflective is it? Let's make it more reflective so you can see this better. There we go. So this is now turning out to be a very, very interesting material that we can use in our scenes. And by just doing it with WithPoly's textures, you can take any material, any model that you might be using, or even any of the models that are already available with the Cosmos browser, and modify them to infinity. Basically, you have thousands upon thousands of materials. And for the last one, I actually do want to try and test out the soil. So let's hit it here, hit a copy, hit one more for soil 2, because just like you guys are seeing this thing for the first time, so am I. I've never worked on these models. I've never worked with these textures. So everything that you're seeing for the first time, I'm seeing for the first time. So that's why it's actually interesting to see what is going to come up with this. So let's go with soil. What is it going to tell me? Soil. Actually, you know what? Let's just hit soil. I want to see what it's going to tell me. Oh, it has ArcVis as well. Interesting. So on soil, we can choose what kind of soil we want. Fluffy black dirt, like very fertile soil in high resolution. All right, let's see. Well, it is high resolution. It's a 4K resolution. So let's download it and see what this thing is going to look like when we put it in our model. Download and save. Again, open, extract, fluffy dirt. There we go. Oh, this one actually has displacement as well, so we can use displacement. If we're using displacement, we have textures to go with it, but in this case, I'm actually not going to go with a displacement. I'm just going to check and see how this is going to look like when we just switch out the diffuse color map. There you go. Very easy and very fast. So for the bump map, Cosmos package, let's go with the, this is the normal, yep. For the glossiness, hit it with the roughness map. There we go. Now if we invert this glossiness map, we're going to get, there we go, less of a wet look. But if we leave it like this, due to the fact that the roughness map looks like this, it will make it so this looks like wet clay or wet dirt. But all in all, I think that no matter what we choose, this has turned out to be a very, very good source of some amazing textures that majority of them you can get in very high details or very high resolutions for free. So more or less this would cover the topic on this amazing changes that the people at WithPoly have done, because a mere few months ago, at the place they were and where they are at right now with the service that they are offering, I think that they've made some colossal steps forward into the right direction. And if they can add some easier way where you can take all of these materials or all of these textures and simply pipe them into the workflow where you can have them all constructed into a full-on material, would make this thing absurdly useful. And I think that somewhere down the road that will be in the game, or that will be in the pipe for them. So for now, I hope you guys had fun and you managed to learn something new from this video. If you would like to support me, you can click the join button, and the direct links for this will be in the description below. There's also a thanks button under each video of the channel, so you can use that as well. And the most helpful thing you can do is always just click the like and subscribe buttons, leave your comment below in the video, and as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.